Hi, I'm Life Coach Landry, and the topic is good public speaking without fear. You know, fear of public speaking can often be something that can be debilitating for a lot of people, but once you get used to it and you practice some things I'm going to give you to outline, it'll be a lot easier for you, and you'll lose some of that anxiety and angst that you have right before you talk. Everybody's probably going to feel a tad nervous the first couple times you start to even use my outline, but once you've done it a couple times and you've been at a couple events, it'll start to fly by you, okay? Fortunately, unless you're a master at reading from a teleprompter, you work for some kind of news agency where you've been doing it for 10 years, public speaking for a lot of people, sometimes it's new. Let's say you're a first-year job person. Let's say you've decided to move into a position that like sales that requires you to talk more in person and present. It can be daunting at first, but it's actually pretty simple. Number one, I want you to thank the introducer or audience and members as soon as you walk up. Okay, so if you're using a podium, you want to thank them right away. If you're doing PowerPoint slides, you want to kind of kick them off with a, just think, hey guys, thanks for making the time to come here today. I know your schedule's kind of crazy. If it's at work, if it's at a podium, you want to thank the audience just for, taking the time to want to listen to you and find your information of value. Okay. Number two, and this is optional, but I think it's a good thing to do. Warm them up with 15 to 30 seconds. And just kind of talking to them about anything, kind of like, throw a joke out there, just warm them up, a little bit. So they're in that listening mode versus judging mode. Okay. Number three is you want to say why your topic's important, and you want to make some main points, bullet points about what you're going to be talking about. Okay. So why the topic's important, and then 2 to 3 things about what you're going to be covering. Okay. Make point one. Number 4, make point 1, using a statistic or, something concrete so the audience can relate to steady, research, strong information. And then number 5, and even number 6, I want you to throw some anecdotes out there. Okay, just throw them out there and just let them kind of float in there, and the people will start relating to what you're saying. After that, number 7, I want you to summarize your points to them again, okay? And this is about 2 to 3 minutes in between each one of these steps you should be going. This will turn into about a 25 to 21 minute speech, okay? And then after you've summarized your points, I want you to kind of issue a call to action, okay? And then number 9, I want you to drop another anecdote, but an inspiring anecdote. Okay. Of course, every talk's different, but that sample outline should give you some ideas. Just to recap, number 1, thank the introducer and audience. Number 2, tell a 15 to 30 second anecdote gleaned from talking with the audience members, before you got up there. And I'll get into a little bit of that in a second. And number 3, why is your topic important? And a few main points about that you'll be making. And then number 4 and number 5 and number 6, make your point statistic, make a point anecdote, make a point statistic or an anecdote again. Number 7, summarize. Number 8, issue call into action. Number 9, drop an inspiring anecdote on them. Okay. Now you can use PowerPoints, you can use Power Slides. Everybody uses different forms to present with. Just remember though that if you have something, if you want your focus on you when you talk, then you want to print something out and hand it to the audience while you talk. If you want them to focus on information and not you speaking per se, then you want something behind you like a PowerPoint. A lot of people usually don't understand how to get them to listen to you or look at the information. If you want them to pay attention to you personally, hand them something in the audience. If you want them to pay attention to information and not you specifically talking, use a PowerPoint, okay? Right before you talk, take a couple of deep breaths, but what I really want you to do, and this is my biggest piece of advice for people to really make you comfortable, before you talk, I want you to get there early, and I want you to walk the audience. Say hi to them, introduce yourself, crack some jokes, because by the time you do all that and you walk the room and then you get up there to talk, you're going to find that all of a sudden you're going to get real comfortable because you feel like, hey, I kind of know the people now. It's not like I just walked up here and I'm unfamiliar with my audience. You're going to know your audience. It's going to be a comfort level you didn't have before you went and walked the room before giving your speech. Don't be the person that just walks out on stage when it's time to talk. Unless you're a professional or you've been doing YouTube videos like me, or you're a podcaster or a radio show guy or a speech giver or a salesperson, unless you've done this for years, you're going to be uncomfortable if you don't warm up. And so that's pretty important. Remember, walk the audience, shake hands, introduce yourself, and crack some jokes with some people. By the time you get on stage, you'll be 1,000 times more comfortable. Okay, yeah, you might want to slow down, too. You don't want to just get up there and start speed racing now that you're comfortable. But what you want to do is, the idea here is you want the word comfortable to start crossing your mind. Hey, I feel pretty good about this. I'm a little confident. Okay. And in case you might find it helpful, go through my YouTube videos, look how I introduce myself, look how I end it. I always have a closing and an ending because I have information in the beginning that I want established, and I have information that I want you to take away by the end of it. But the body of work's important, and that's why you want to talk about the subject, right? Now, even if you don't have a talk coming up, if you'd like to work towards good public speaking without fear, you might want to plan a brief talk or a practice. You can obviously work with me if you want to, but I always advise people, do a couple on yourself, recording yourself, and then get with a friend and give a short 10-minute speech to a friend and let them critique you a little bit, because you're not going to take the criticism too hard, and you're comfortable with making mistakes in front of friends. At least you should be. Okay, so if you found this information of value to you and you want to show your appreciation, you can click on the donation link below. And if you want to work on these skills, and public speaking is something that no matter how hard you try, you have a lot of anxiety about, you can contact me at the email below, and I can work with you personally on an upcoming speech that you might have. I can even help you write a good speech. Okay, so I hope this information is helpful to you, and I will talk to you soon.